What is good, everyone? So in this video, I am going to show you a couple of just lifestyle changes to really win at SMMA and turn it into a video game. So with a lot of different videos online, they always talk about the sales, they always talk about the client fulfillment, how to acquire clients. But I think the most important part is actually the lifestyle changes that you need to implement in order to actually win at SMMA, right? This is a thing that nobody really talks about in the space. And for me, this has been one of the biggest impact it's made on my agency as a whole. And I just want to get into the nit and gritty of who you need to become as a person in order to actually win at SMMA or any other business in general, right? These lifestyle changes will impact your life in a way that you wouldn't even foresee. So I just want to get into a couple of these things. I have four different categories. One is really the dopamine minimization. Number two is really your gym. Number three is diet and lifestyle. Number four is really communication with other people in the space, right? So let's get into the first topic, really the dopamine minimization. So a lot of people don't like to touch on this topic because I guess it's rather sensitive. But number one is don't choke the chicken. Um, as Alex Becker might say, don't mount the manicore. So with doing things in life, we're basically human beings that always function off dopamine, right? So if we think about our ancestors, what did they do all day? They went out and hunt. After they played around, after they would just reproduce, right? So all the dopamine is coming from survival. And if you're watching this video, you probably have generally all of the necessities needed. You have a shelter, you have food in your belly. Nothing really provides an imminent danger to your life, right? So now we're just mostly chasing other things in life, trying to find our purpose and stuff like that. But one thing is really minimizing our dopamine. So nowadays there's TikTok, there's YouTube, there's this video. There's so many ways to capture your dopamine online, right? So constantly spiking your dopamine actually just increases the threshold that you need in order to actually feel the same amount of happiness doing one certain thing, right? So whenever you're constantly spiking your dopamine, it literally makes hard things in life even harder. Like, not a play on words, literally, right? So we need to have the discipline in SMMA and business in general to really keep a disciplined lifestyle, right? So I would just say try it for a couple of weeks, 1 week, you'll notice the difference drastically, right? So whenever you do these hard things like hopping on sales calls, doing cold calls, you'll find way more happiness doing that than choking the chicken. So another thing is you shouldn't be interacting with anything that involves a screen as much as you should. Because if you're diving into SMMA, most of the time you're going to be spending is really in front of your screen, you're in front of your phone, you're sending Instagram DMs. Really, you need to interact with other humans outside the world because most of the time you're going to be staring at a screen all day long, right? So that's number one. Just trying to minimize as much dopamine as possible. That way, whenever you do hard things, you could actually do them very hard, literally, right? So number two in our four categories is really gym consistently and gym hard. So I know whenever you work these 12-hour days, 10-hour days, whatever, you're going to feel some brain fog in the middle of the day. Especially for me, I get this insane brain fog, no motivation around 2 to 3 p.m. after I eat or after the sun comes up and then the black coffee is running low, right? So whenever you get to that point in your day, go ahead and hit the gym and hit it hard. So for me, I like to do push pull legs. I do MMA as well. I do jujitsu. I go for a run, and I would 100% not neglect the cardio. SMA is very hard. Running is even harder, at least for me. I started running recently, and it really helps me clear my mind. And after an hour run, 30-minute run, I come back to my table. I start working all over again, right? So it really helps clear your mind because there's always things you have to get done, always things you have to fix, always things about your systems that you want to get better. But sometimes you're just kind of bogged down by all the responsibilities, all the things you need to do. And sometimes you just need to go out for a run, go to a gym, clear your head, come back fresh, and then get it all over again. Right. So, number three is really talking about the diet and lifestyle. So, diet is one of the most important parts. And whenever you eat crappy foods like fast food, whatever highly processed carbs, gluten, it really makes you a lot lazier and also spikes your dopamine a lot more, right? Like I'd rather eat McDonald's over some chicken breast, broccoli, and rice. So for me, what I personally find works is really having a black coffee in the morning, fast till lunch, and then don't eat any heavy carbs for lunch, or else I just feel slow and lethargic. I'm basically just sitting around at my table and I don't want to do anything, right? So limit the degen meals to maybe once or twice a week whenever you go out with friends. I would say don't go into a very big hustle mode where you're not talking to any friends, you're not going out in public, you're in grind mode because in reality, life is very short. You only get this one chance. And, the process is going to be a long process. It's over a couple of months, couple of years. So don't burn yourself out by isolating yourself in your room in the dark, cold calling, doing whatever. Try to get out there, still socialize with friends. Maybe limit the DJ meals to after in the nighttime, but do not neglect your social life in order to grow your SMMA. There's definitely periods of life to do that whenever you go into monk mode, but I would still say having humor interaction motivates you a lot more than sitting in your room in the dark, sending out all these cold emails, cold calls, whatever, setting up ads. Right. So be disciplined, but don't forget to live a little because life is short. This is a long process. Enjoy the process and you'll reap the benefits. And number two is really just getting 8 hours of sleep. So you'll feel like complete crap if you don't sleep. Even in sales calls, you notice it. Even your day to day, right? You won't feel as good as if you actually got sleep. So I know in the entrepreneur world, there's always talk about hustle, hustle, hustle. You're constantly hustling to get to that goal, but really try to enjoy the process. What really is more important is maximizing your time that you spend awake and working efficiently, right? So if you only, I would say for most people, you probably have max productivity, maybe 4 hours a day. And the other 4 hours, you're kind of doing whatever filler time, back end maintenance work. So I would say do 4 hours in the morning with black coffee, right? Fast till lunch, eat your lunch, work maybe 1 or 2 more hours, go to a gym, come back, maybe work 1 or 2 more hours, right? So that's the routine I find works the best. And it really takes advantage of my time, especially for me. After I had the black coffee in the morning, I can work 4 hours straight. But getting around towards lunchtime, whenever I feel the drive that I have in the morning die down, I go ahead and eat lunch, work a little bit more, and then go to gym. So that's very important. Just try it out. You know, minimize your dopamine as well. Don't eat the crappy foods, and don't choke the chicken. And you'll feel that doing SMMA is a lot more fun because life, even though life is hard, we still want to enjoy our process doing it, right? So, and number four is really about talking to other people in the space. So whenever I first got out into the agency game, what I've noticed is I isolate myself from everybody, and all the time I'm just kind of battling these mental self-doubts and demons in my head, right? So I'm constantly worried about service delivery, about sales calls, about all sorts of different things whenever I got started. But what really helped me was just talking to other people in the space. For me, I literally created a group chat with a couple of my friends and we'll just discuss, kind of rant to each other. But it really helps me get more perspective on the situations that I'm in, the struggles that I'm in, because other people are facing it too, right? There'll always be struggles down the line, even if your current struggle is how do I find my first client? After that, maybe you'll have another question is how do I do service delivery for that client, right? And after that is how do I create a system that scales and is automated? So even if you're at 100K, 200K per month, there'll always be problems that come up. So you'll constantly be in this, I guess, struggle towards the heights, but talking with other people, networking with other people really helps with that, because as human, we're very social creatures, right? We want to establish connections with other people. We want to get to know other people, and we more so function as a tribe. So, my advice for you is really to find that tribe. Maybe get a couple of your friends, same group chat, maybe people that you find online. For me, I found communities on Twitter, and it's really helped in my journey of just kind of canceling that self doubt, knowing that other people are in my situation, and just talking it out with a couple of friends. Maybe go out for a DGen meal, talk, talk to them, and yeah, everybody's struggling. It's more so just finding a tribe of people that are all struggling together, and then one day y'all get to the top. You'll still struggle, but just really finding that tribe. So these are really my 4 tips. So this is very important. I know a lot of people might just skip over this video, but having the lifestyle changes and minimizing your dopamine to actually want to do hard work and turn it into a video game. Like for me, when I was a kid, I used to play RuneScape a lot, right? It's kind of like, how do I get to that 99 in fishing, right? I have to work on it over a couple of weeks, couple of months, and then I can get that 99 in fishing on RuneScape, right? So really how this creates a video game of your SMMA. Business is hard, turn it into a video game, and then you'll have fun that way, right? So, shameless plug, I will create a Discord group of SMMA, beginners, intermediates, advanced, just for y'all to try to find your tribe. This is not a paid community. It's more so just a conversational group where you could talk with other people in your space and kind of bounce ideas off of. Because this was one thing I really lacked in the beginning. This is sense of community. And I think it will be pretty helpful for y'all to really network with one another in the Discord group. So that's all I have for this video. And don't choke the chicken, and go ahead and win at SMMA and turn it into a video game. And I'll see you in the next one.